Before I go on to a wee bit of a speech, as you may or may not know, I was selected to run a sports day tomorrow afternoon by these two. So the team captains tomorrow are these two. They will compete in every event. Every event?
That's fine,
Okay. There's a sports field just behind us, an old football pitch. It's very wet and mucky. Just be aware of that. If you don't want to compete, please feel free to enjoy the spa.
Can I go?
And if I'm still in the spa at 12:30, you tell me where I'm supposed to be.
I'll go to the spa.
Yeah, so we're going up to the field for 12:30. There'll be 5 or 6 events. If you want to come, please come up. If not, please go and enjoy yourselves. And after that there, I'm going to make a very short speech because I've seen what the boys have got set up. Yeah, I know you're sweating, but first of all, I want to welcome everybody here from Ireland, north and south. Scotland. England. Australia. Canada. I am Wales. Anybody else I missed?
Liverpool.
That's England. That's England. I know you speak funny, but that's England. So, my speech can be very short. I'm going to say one or two things. The first time I heard Rodri's name mentioned is when I got a phone call from Cardiff, where Julia went over to the digs, and she decided she wasn't going to stay in the main building. She was going to go out to a house to live. And then the very first night she got there, she phoned me and says, "Daddy, I know if I can do this." Says, "There's a mad Welsh guy with an afro haircut. I can't understand a word he says. I'm going to look for somewhere else to live." But that didn't work, did it? But it did take 12 years to get to this day. I know they say the Irish are slow, but come on, Ross. And there's a couple of wee things. This first from this week. You know, Julie got her first contract phone this week. She's now came of age. She's got her first contract phone. And I'm not letting Rod off of this. Does everybody know that Rod bought his first pair of underwear this week? Now, technically, he didn't actually buy them. Apparently, TK Maxx gave them free, so he's wearing some hot pants tonight. And I'm sure with a bit of skinny dipping later we might see them. So with that, I'm going to pass on to whoever's next. So welcome and enjoy yourselves. The party's in Hut 42. Come down, take any drink you want, and enjoy yourselves.
Ladies and gentlemen, would you please welcome the father of the groom.
Thank you very much, Adam. Mae'n bleser I fod yma heddi ymhlith ffrindiau a theulu I ddathlu priodas Rodri a Julie gyda'i gilydd. It's a pleasure to be here today amongst friends and family and celebrate the wedding of Rodri and Julie. I do have a couple of messages before I start properly. One from Rodri's gran, who's 91 and thought that the travel would be a little bit too much for her. Her message is short and sweet. Enjoy your day, and the next time you're back in Wales, be sure to call. And then I've also got a message from an Auntie Verna, and I've actually got to do this in accordance with the instructions that I've been given. So, no, you haven't got to, no, you haven't got to stand up. You can stay there. My handsome boy, and these are her words, I could eat him. When Rodri was quite a lot younger now, he had a fascination with the environment and science and nature. And in fact, he had a little bit of a dream. He was going to be Wales' answer to David Attenborough. And in order to develop those skills, he actually changed his bedroom into a laboratory. And in this bedroom and in this laboratory, he carried out a lot of experiments, as you would expect. And some of you, I'm sure, will be familiar with these experiments. Ones like, I finished this banana, what can I do with this skin? Oh, I know, I'll just lob it behind the sofa and wonder how long it'll take to rot. And then the next experiment, of course, could be, I've had enough of these sandwiches. What can I do with this bread? I think I'll just kick it under the bed and wonder how long it'll take to go mildew. And I would like to point out, contrary to public opinion, it was not Cardiff, it was Rhodri's bedroom. That was the first recycling plant in Wales. You could go in there at any time you chose, there would be piles of plastic bottles, biscuit wrappers, crisp packets, and all sorts. Never threw anything away. Julie, I'm sure you've got him out of those bad habits by now, and he's very much domesticated. You wouldn't have been able to live like that anyway, so I'm sure you have knocked that out of him. He also liked a little bit of rugby, and he played quite a bit in school, and then he did have one season with the village rugby team. And the village rugby team had a particular initiation for any new players. And one Sunday, I remember talking to an aunt of mine, and she said, I saw your Rhodri yesterday. Oh, really? I bet he was really glad to see you. Well, I didn't actually speak to him. I'd been shopping in town, and I caught the bus home. And as we were driving past the rugby club, I looked out of the window and thought, good God, what's that? There was this naked body flashing across the green outside the rugby club. Hands cupped in front of him, backside bouncing from side to side. Everyone on the bus was cheering and laughing. The windows were getting open and obscenities being thrown out, as you can imagine. And she looked again, she went, my God, it's Rhodri. And do you know what? I was too embarrassed to say anything. I just sat there quietly. But she did say she was impressed with one thing. About his hands were cupped in the front. She had no idea about that, I can tell you. You're not listening. It was this majestic belly flop that he did. Landed on the grass, which happened to be wet, and skidded the final 15 metres towards the door of the rugby club, where he jumped up quickly and scuttled inside, presumably to get dressed again. I don't know that bit of the story. He took some time deciding what he wanted to do with his life, and then one day said, I think I'll become an actor. I could be horrible saying these things, but no. And off he went to Cardiff, which of course, where he met Julie. And you can imagine how proud we were when he actually got his first paid job. National television, and the series was Torchwood. And we were so proud, we told everyone we knew, every aunt, every uncle, every cousin, every friend, half the village knew, plus anyone far and wide. And of course, with great anticipation, the series was due to be broadcast, and we were sat there for that first episode, and Rhodri's scene. I couldn't believe my eyes. His first opportunity on national television, the first thing he shows is his bare Welsh backside. I was stunned. I could feel the emotion reverberating around the village, you know what I mean? Every aunt there in silent disbelief, and every uncle and cousin and friend going, oh, what a boy that Rhodri is. He'll do anything for a few quid, that boy will. He should have done a full frontal. And a lot of all sorts as well. I suppose, as a parent, you always want what's best, naturally, for your children. And I don't care, and I'm not apologising. As far as we're concerned as a family, we've actually got the best. Extremely proud of Rhodri's achievements over the years, and if I'm honest, they do take, I can push those to the side. What gives me the greatest pride is watching him grow up and to become the man that he is now, the person and the personality that he is. Without exception, when we're home and Fenn was, how's Rodri doing? What's he doing now? How is he? Oh, you've got a lovely lad there. Oh, Rodri's 1 in a million. Oh, we love Rodri. And that fills us all with the greatest of pride when you hear people say that. So, what a man you are. And the next step is obviously to be a great husband. You're a great son, great husband. And Julie, you're not getting away with it either. Well, first of all, I've now got a daughter-in-law. I'm very proud of her, I am. You're looking absolutely gorgeous, as is the rest of the entourage that are with you. And I'm slightly biased, 2 of them are my daughters, but you all look absolutely beautiful today. You're a credit to yourselves and all your family. I'm not sure if I got off on the right foot with Julie all those years ago when she came to the village, first of all. Rodri phoned home and spoke to his mum. Is it all right if I bring Julie home to meet you? And do you think she'll be able to share my bedroom? And his mother, being a far more understanding person than I am, said, oh, I would think so, but I'll run it past your dad. I can't explain why. I really don't. Will we have 27, something like that? Yeah. I don't know. But I was absolutely mortified. No way is he bringing Julie back down here for a weekend shacking up in his bedroom. No chance. You can forget it. And that first night, I can tell you, I didn't sleep a wink. I was there like a lion marking its prey, listening for every squeak and creak, any sort of movement at all, just to catch him out. But he assures me he was the perfect gentleman, and I actually believe him. Julie, it obviously, I apologise now for that. I can't explain why I was like that, but I did. Okay. Hopefully it didn't ruin your weekend too much. And it couldn't have, because you came back and today you've married him anyway. So all's well that ends well, I suppose. I will finish by saying, enjoy the rest of the day and enjoy the rest of your lives together. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Gareth. Thank you. That's funny. We at Rodri used to have a similar science experiment when we used to live together. It's funny. It was like, he used to go, where are the plates? Test results in Rodri's room. Where's the only cooking pot we have? Test results was, they're in Rodri's room. Yeah, that's it.
Remember the cat?
Yes, I'll tell you the story. This wasn't in the plan, but there was one time when a friend of mine came over to stay. Rodri was out of town, and he fell asleep in my room. We had a 2-bedroom flat, and I brought him into Rodri's room. He fell asleep in my room, and I took him in. I kicked open Rodri's door. I had him in my arms. As I kicked open Rodri's door, the first thing he said as he woke up in my arms was, "It smells." You're sleeping in here, right? Go on, shut up, get in there. And I chucked him in there, and his girlfriend joined him, and they slept through the night, and I went to sleep, and we woke up in the morning, and I woke up in the morning, and I said, how did you sleep? Josh and Katie, isn't it? How did you sleep? And they said, I was fine until, this was Josh, I was fine until the middle of the night. I had this sort of drinking of water in the middle of the night, and Josh said to Katie, he said, Katie, give me some of that water. And she said, I haven't got any water. He went, give me some water, can you drink water? She said, I'm not drinking any water. There's a cat in the room. So what do you mean there's a cat? There's a cat eating out of the plates. Some feral cat had got in through the window and was just lapping at the plates in Rodri's room. And on that note, I'll pass you over to Rodri Lewis, everybody. Oh, no, I'm sorry. That would have been a good segue, wasn't it? Well, it would have been the best, but unfortunately not. I would like to give you over to the mother of the groom, please.
Thank you all very much. I haven't got any funny stories.
And I think there is a reason why women don't do this, and I know the shaking hands, but I'm going to get through it anyway. Can I just first of all say thank you all so much for coming. When Rodri and Julie finally decided that they were going to get married, I know that the thing they wanted more than anything was to share the day with all their friends and family, so I know how much they appreciate you all being here, so thank you. Can I give a special thank you to my family, and especially my brother and sister-in-law who've come from Canada. It does mean a lot to Rodri that you're here. And Julie, if you want to see what Rodri looks like when he's an old man, there he is. Oh, sorry. I now want to welcome Julie officially to our family. She's been my daughter-in-law in my heart for many years, but now she's officially my daughter-in-law, and I'm very, very pleased to say that. I think any mother in this room, if you could secretly be given a wish, it would be to choose the girl that your son is going to marry. Well, I didn't get that, and I'm so glad I didn't get that opportunity, because I couldn't have done such a good job as Rodri did. I don't need to tell all of you that, because you know, I know how much you all love Julie as well. You can't help but love her when you know her. And she looks beautiful today, and I think you'll all agree. People ask you when you have your first child, and Rodri was my first child, what did it feel like when you have that baby put in your arms for the first time? And apart from the overwhelming love that you feel, at the first feeling that I felt, and I can't explain it, and I've told many people this, is that he looked familiar to me. I felt as though I'd known him all my life. And that's how I felt, and I think that bond has stayed all through our years. And look at him here as the adult that I'm so proud of. I'm so proud of my son. And we have long chats into the night when he's home, and long chats on the phone. I think 2 hours is the record at the moment for talking on the phone. And believe it or not, we usually talk about food, and we talk about wine. Surprise, surprise. But that's what the conversation usually goes to as well. Rodri was loved by his family, all his family when he was a little boy, but in particular he had a very close relationship with my mum, his grandmother. They seemed to have an understanding of each other, and I think they were probably kindred spirits now I think about it. And I think that when I was a little girl, my big memories are of my mother taking part in amateur dramatics on stage, doing variety shows, doing anything to make people laugh. Does that sound familiar to you? And she'd take out her false teeth, and she'd put rollers in her hair, and she'd be on stage singing and dancing and cracking jokes. And I think, oh yeah, I can see where Rodri gets it from. They were very close, and I've lost what I'm saying. Yeah, and my mum loved to write. She wrote songs, she wrote poems. She didn't do it for publication, she didn't do it for anybody else to see, she just did it for pleasure. And Rodri was her blue-eyed little boy, and when he was 2 years old, I don't know if Rodri remembers this, but when she was 2 years old, she wrote him a little poem, and she put it in his card. And she did it on a typewriter. There was no computers then. She wrote it on a typewriter. She'd made a few mistakes, so she corrected them with a biro. So I've got the poem here, and I framed it for Rodri, and I'll try and read it, Rod, if I can. It is in Welsh, so I apologise for you that can't understand it. It's just a little amateur poem that a grandmother wrote to a grandson that she loved very much. Pen blwydd Rodri. Mae Rodri nawr yn 2 mlwydd oed, ac mae e yn un glân. Mae e yn plentyn serchus iawn, llawn bywyd fel ei dad. Hi gorgeous, mae e'n dweud wrth pawb, gyda gwên o glist i glist. Bydd e yn grwt bach siarp dros ben, fel ei fam rhyw dydd rwy'n siŵr. Fe gaiff brawd bach neu chwaer rhyw dydd, a dyna'r lle fydd lle, oherwydd nawr y fe yw'r dyn sy'n cael y sylw i gyd ei hun. hynny, fydd yn annwyl iawn am byth gan ei fam gi, ac mae e'n debyg iawn i Alan fy mab gyntaf fi. Mae Iesu'n caru Rodri bach ni garu nos a dydd. Gweddia fydd e'n agos iawn iddo fe drwy oes I gyd. And she signed it, Mam Gi Rodri. So can I just give that to him?
That's amazing. I didn't even know that.
I know, I didn't think you did. He didn't remember about it, so I'm really pleased about that. I think that's me more or less finished. I'd just like to wish Rodri and Julie a lifetime of love and friendship. Always be kind to each other. Try and be as happy as you are today. I'm very proud of the two of you. And it's been a wonderful day, and let the celebrations continue. Thank you very much.
Absolutely beautiful. Oh, mate. Right, good luck following that. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, please allow the groom to do a speech.
Right, I'm still a bit shaky after that, actually. That's amazing. I forgot that that even existed. That's amazing. You've been sitting on that for 35 years. Thank you. Torpedo into my heart. I'm going to keep this brief. I know we've been here for a while. We're all eager to have a dance and another drink and everything. I just think it's important for me to keep it short, obviously, but also to thank you all for coming here today. I mean, speaking on behalf of my wife. I mean, it just means so much, you know, standing in this room earlier on today, really sort of nervous and looking back, sort of waiting for Julie to walk down and seeing everybody's faces. It's just amazing, you know, just the love in the room. And thank you all for coming. I love you all. I do. Thank you so much. But I need to thank people, obviously, and give them a name check as well, because obviously they've done a lot to make sure that this day can happen. So I want to thank my father, Gareth. I want to thank Jim. I want to thank Elaine, and I want to thank my mum, Anne, as well. In fact, we have some flowers here for you. Not for you guys. I'll get you a pint later or something. Oh, right then, lads. There you go. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. I don't want to bring sort of it down, but I feel I have to mention two people that can't be here today. And I want to toast them. I want to toast Victor, first of all. Julie's very close, her uncle sadly passed away a few years ago. And also Catherine as well. Very close family. So I'm not going to waffle on. I'd just like to raise a glass to those two people who couldn't be here today. So, thank you. Right, so I know some of you may be wondering about what these favours are. So I'll give you a little bit of background. It's a Welsh love spoon. Okay. So the man would carve this for the woman he loved. And it'd mean that, you know, he would promise his love to that woman forever. So the hearts mean that you love that person. That's why our names are in the heart. And the bells just represent the wedding. I can't really I didn't really write a speech, as you could probably tell. I was running around yesterday like an idiot. It was slightly too much whiskey in me. And I wrote one line, and I just went, "Thank you, brackets, lots of people." That was my speech. So, that was my speech that I wrote, "Thank you, brackets, lots of people. You know who you are." And I think the reason I couldn't write anything down was because I don't know how to. I can't sort of express into words what I feel when I see Julie, or how she makes me feel. For the last 12 years of my life, I can't do it. I just can't write it down. So I didn't. But you all know Julie. And you don't need me to tell you that, because you know just as well as I do. And she is, I mean, look at her, she's beautiful. So I'd just like you to raise your glass to my new wife, Julie. And I was also told, actually, while I was running around trying to write this speech yesterday, I was reminded by some people who travelled a long way to thank the people that travelled a long way. So, the people who have travelled a long way, thank you.
Cheers, mate.
Thank you. Cheers. And you guys? Yes. I think I bored you enough. Oh, sorry. And as well, they said, remember, Rod, mention the bridesmaids and how amazing they look. The bridesmaids look amazing. And Stacey, my new sister-in-law. Lowry, Julie's new sister-in-law. Fionn, Julie's new sister-in-law. Lorna, her mate from school that she's known forever. And Caroline, you all know Caroline. So just a quick last toast as well to the bridesmaids. To the bridesmaids. Now I'd like to open it up to the floor. Have I forgotten anything? Excellent. I'll pass you back to the best man then. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. I'm not really Welsh, actually. Hello, so my name's Dan. I'm one of the best men.
And I'm Adam. I'm the other one.
Yeah. So, first of all, I just want to say, for everyone that hasn't been mentioned yet by name, which is most of us, really, you all look beautiful, you all look lovely, and we're all equally as special as each other on a day like this. Rodri and Julie are stealing a lot of the limelight, which I'm not entirely comfortable with. But I've got used to it by now, so it's fine. Yeah, you do look all beautiful and lovely. Congratulations for that. Yeah. Now, I'm not sure about you, but I'm right on the edge of needing a visit to the little boys' room, so I'm just going to get on with reading out these words that I've written down about the lovely couple.
And I'm just going to chip in from time to time. All right.
Lovely stuff. So let's go! Let's go! Start speaking.
Okay.
Start speaking now. In fact, can we just quickly do a time check for anyone that's involved in the sweepstakes? Quick time check.
What we got?
Who's out already?
Who's gone already?
Ah!
What are we looking at? 30. What's
38.
your time? What did you under 40? Anyone over 40?
33. Is everyone on different timelines? How have we all got different... Can we open the doors at the side of the rooms as well? Is anyone else a bit hot? Is it okay? Should we just, if there's anyone available near the side doors, just give them a little crack? If that's all right. I'm really hot. I mean, thanks, Amy, the only one in the middle of the room to do it. Nice one, Amy, legends. Okay, guys, so I'm going to just talk about Rod quickly for a little bit. The first time I met Rodri, a.k.a. The Welsh Hercules, a.k.a. the BFG, a.k.a. Rodri Allard Lewis. I met him for the first time on the 20th of September 2004, which was a special day for me because it was both my birthday and the first day of Freshers Week for what turned out to be an amazing 3 years of acting training at the Royal Welsh College of Music and Drama in Cardiff.
The first time I met Rodri was in a house party in Royal Welsh College. I was in my first year, he was in his second year. We were in a room of a house party. I think it was Ryan O'Donnell's room at the time. And we were both sitting in camping chairs in his bedroom. I know, weird. And we were both sat there and we struck up a conversation, and I can't remember a lot of that conversation. All I can remember is the one line, the first line that I ever fell in love with Rodri Lewis was, you know, a lot of people think this house is a bit of a shithole. But I left my jacket here for a week once, and when I got it back, it smelled like a meadow. I, ladies and gentlemen, from that point in, was forever his.
So, what was 3 years of acting training in college for most of us, particularly a bunch of people here that went to drama school with us? What was 3 years for most of us? Actually ended up being 4 years for Rodri, because he was kept back a year.
Yeah, but much to my delight, as he ended up in my year. Keep up. He was in my year. He got held back a year.
He was in my year, and then he got held back.
In my back.
And then he ended up in Adam's year as
You
well.
up to speed? Be good. We're all right.
All on the same page.
We're all on the same page.
So, I'm not 100% sure what it was, but I think this decision was probably something to do with our improvisation teacher, who said that Rodri hadn't yet satisfactorily demonstrated how to be a tree, which by second year should be a staple in any actor's repertoire. Here we are.
I mean, however, you know, me and Dan and everyone else, you know, all of us thought that it was well out of order. Because we'd seen and enthralled and been witnesses to. I'm reading this, come on now. I was going to make it up. He's making me read this. Read it now. Because, well, we'd all been witnesses to Rodri's acting prowess.
We had a particularly memorable moment for most of us was seeing Rodri as a giant Welsh wild mute man wearing nothing but a pair of sparkling silver knickers, painted from head to toe in black paint with some controversy, arguably. All the while doing a slow motion mime performance. So, you know, Rodri in sparkling knickers, truly a sight to behold, as I'm sure you can imagine and appreciate.
And we do have pictures if anyone wants to see. However, I must, over 18s only. He did pop out a few times.
That's true. However, since then, since Rodri got back a year, I have had a bit of time to reflect, and actually now propose that the decision to keep him back was probably a good thing. In fact, it was necessary and the best thing to do, particularly for all of us here today, because by holding him back for a year, the extra skills that he acquired during that time means that he got to perform a number of characters across stage and screen, such as, already mentioned, Johnny Davis in Torchwood.
It was the best brick throwing through a window of a Range Rover I've ever seen.
Yep. Yeah, and Nev, the bouncer from Gavin and Stacey. I don't know, did you see him in the outtake special as well? Great.
All right, Nev.
There it is. And you know, thanks to those roles and many, many others, as unlisted here, I'm very delighted to say that I understand it's actually a free bar all night, as sponsored by the secret royalties and repeat fees fund that Rhodri's been building up over the years. That's right, isn't it, Rod? You know about this, don't you, Julie? Yes, so free drinks all night on Rod! Just down here, mate.
Thanks, mate. I was lucky enough to perform with Rhodri in my final year at Welsh College. We did 3 shows together. Memorable, you might have remembered the memorable performances as Chubby Wadlow in Hobson's Choice, King Duncan in Macbeth, where I got to brutally murder him night after night, and my personal favourite was the drunk Lieutenant Shrank in West Side Story, where I had to do battle with Rhodri on stage and off stage. You see, because at this time, Rhodri had got a little bit method in his role of the drunk Lieutenant Shrank. I didn't sleep for weeks.
Now, I know it's already been said, but it sort of feels like Rhodri's been with Julie and Julie's been with Rhodri for so long now that it actually feels like they should be renewing their vows rather than getting married for the first time. And as such, I don't have a great deal to share about Rhodri pre-Jules, because ever since I've known Rhodri, I've essentially known Julie and Rhodri.
Well, I don't think there was much pre-Julie,
There wasn't
to
much
be
of a
honest.
love life before Julie. However, he has told a number of his friends a personal tale of courtship from his days as a bachelor. And this is when he took a young fair maiden for a drive in his brand new car. Now you can picture the scene when they finally decided to park up in the woods, the stars glittering down, the moonlight gently cascading through the leaves of the trees. Now apparently this girl was already quite nervous. I mean, what with being driven to the woods by, a giant curly-haired Afro Welsh guy. But you know, Rod, that didn't hold him back. No. He decided at this point it would be a good idea to do a funny and say to this girl, "I've got an axe in the boot of my car." A moment of silence passed between them. And then she just started screaming, demanding that he take her home immediately. Apparently, he did try to calm her down after all, he had driven them all that way. But that was it. So he did drive the terrified girl home, gentlemen, never to see her again. Let's be a bit nicer now.
So, Ross, we'd like to be a bit more sincere now, mate.
Rod, mate, I don't have another friend who punctuates every conversation with such enthusiasm as to say, "That's brilliant!" after each exchange. That is what happens until about 4 beers later, when every exchange is punctuated with, "That's bollocks!"
Or after any live performance that is seen with the chant of 8 more!
8 more!
Whether it be songs or plays or speeches,
8 more.
8 more!
8
more!
Rod, I haven't got another friend who I've fallen out with for days because of an argument we've had over which of us has got the biggest head. I was very sensitive about my big nonce in those days, mate.
I measured them both
They
on
did.
the stag do, ladies and gentlemen. And I can confirm they're both massive.
Rhodri, I don't have another friend who my wife suggests we should call up for the answer to settle a dispute that we're having when we disagree on something. So my wife will say, "Right, let's call Rod. He'll know the answer." I say, "No, Neve, let's not call Rod for the answer. Dan already knows the answer." Rod, I don't have another friend who I would relish spending hours talking over Skype into the early morning about the difference between the House of Commons and the House of Lords. But then that might have been the whiskey.
or a friend who can't hear you over the phone what you just said because he was just eating a very noisy carrot.
Rod, and I know that almost everyone here will, I say almost every single person here will understand this. Rod, I don't have another friend who is anywhere near as stubborn as you. For instance, insisting until he's blue in the face that the character of Marge Simpson is actually voiced by a man. Even when shown hard evidence that Marge Simpson is not voiced by a man, but voiced by a woman called Julie Kavner. A very talented voice actress who also does the voices for Marge Simpson's sisters, Selma and Patty. Rodri will still not budge on this fact. In fact, Rodri, who does the voice of Marge Simpson?
Some bloke, maybe.
A man or a woman? Some bloke. Some bloke. Point proven, right? I mean,
Constantly devil's advocate.
some bloke.
I've actually been mid-argument. With one time we conceded, he's always pointed out, and I said, no, you're wrong, the factual evidence is outside the house. And he went, oh, yeah, you're right. But we were so drunk, I can't remember it. I can't remember what it was. And therefore, I cannot use it in this anecdote. But he'll always have my back, forever he'll have my back. And I can never, in this man's eyes, do any wrong. However, I am never also ever right.
Now, a few months ago, Rodri was staying at my house while he was doing his play recently. This is a house that I've lived in for over 15 years. It was a really sunny afternoon, and Rod was standing with his hands on his hips, as he does, just kind of looking out the window. Just admiring something. Turns out he was actually looking at a tree out the front window. This thing had caught his eye. So he walks up to the window and opens it. He leans out, takes a swipe at a branch of this tree that grows really close to my house, brings his arm in, and he takes a bite out of this thing that he's grabbed from the tree. He's just standing there chomping it. I'm thinking, what's going on?
On the squirrel, don't worry.
It wasn't a squirrel. That would have been good aim if that was a squirrel. He takes a bite out of this thing from the tree, and I look at him and I just say, Rod, what are you doing, mate? And he turns around to me, sort of chomping this thing, and he goes, I knew it. A cherry tree. Turns out, I've had a ruddy, massive, great cherry tree growing in my front garden. I've lived in that house for 15 years, absolutely no idea. Just a lovely cherry tree, growing delicious, edible, sweet, sweet cherries. Just sitting there, growing away in my front garden. And you know, Rod's always had this particular skill, this thing of having a keen eye, noticing things that are interesting, noticing things that are lovely, just finding things that are beautiful. You know, he took up photography quite recently, I think, because of this thing that he has, this paying attention to the finest things. For instance, he'll always choose the finest cuts of the best food.
Best lasagna you'll ever have.
Best lasagna. He'll always choose the smoothest whiskies.
Review on a certain Lefroy. You can taste the pig arse in it.
He'll always choose the best music. Honestly, ask Rod to manage a playlist of an evening or at a party, and it'll be spot on every single time. In fact, I think we've probably got that lined up for us later this evening.
The Beatles, the Blues Brothers, John Williams.
Epic. Classic. And I think it's that big-hearted side of Rod that meant that when he met Julie, he knew right away he'd found something and someone extremely special. This also would have been about the same time he casually started turning up to college 3 hours late with a massive grin on his face and a spring in his step.
Which is quite similar to the way that I started to arrive at college when I first met Rodri. In fact, Julie, very lucky that you're sitting there right now and not me. Looks like you win.
This round. Julie, it's clear as day. You are beautiful inside and out. Brilliant company, incredibly talented. More than a match for Rod in all of the right ways. And absolutely hilarious.
From every, well, our first meetings together where we ended up dancing on Rod's bed together in his first room. Yeah, you can't remember it, obviously. It's college, Cardiff, innit? Can't remember nothing. Just dancing on that bed to every hug, to every smile, and every piece of advice. And just the abundance of love that you've not only got for this man, but for me and him and everybody in this room. Yeah.
You two are a perfect match.
Yeah.
You're a perfect match. We are delighted beyond words that you two are finally tying the knot.
Finally!
Last. We want to wish the best in the world to both of you, and if everyone could please be upstanding, lift your glasses to the amazing couple, the beautiful people, Rodri and Julie, ladies and gentlemen. We got one more surprise, haven't we? We've got to head down there to do it. Yeah, bring that down.
Right. No, there is, right. We've got 2 more speeches, ladies and gentlemen, okay? Just sit tight, but we've got one little surprise before our final act, which is Alex here. So we've got one little surprise for you both here. So
Somewhere out here.
Hello. Shemai. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Alex. I'm Julie's nephew and now officially Rod's as well. I've known Julie and Rod my whole life, obviously. Julie makes me laugh and spoils me. Rod takes me to the cinema a lot and makes the best cheese on toast ever. I can't imagine my life without them both. Julie looks amazing, and Rod, I'm sorry to tell you, but I look well more handsome than you. Doesn't everyone agree?
Absolutely.
I hope everyone has a great day and a great night.